Okay, so today, in order to deepen our connection with food, we're going to get to do kind of a fun one. We're going to get to all day eat according to your whim, all right? Which right away puts us more in touch with our whims than we might usually be. It's not going to be according to availability and according to how quickly you can get that food. It's going to be according to what you want, what you are in the mood for, what your whim commands. And you're going to really, like in true dare fashion, go with that, okay? Don't compromise that. If you are wanting, X, go get X. Put aside a little extra time to do so, a little extra effort to do so, because we're gonna go with our body's whims. And some might argue that this is not the most nutritionally sound exercise that we're doing today, because it might be that you're gonna have a whim for a giant chocolate cake, and then maybe you'll go and eat a giant chocolate cake for lunch, but then you're going to continue listening to your whims, because my guess is that if you do, you might not actually get through the whole cake, because your whim might really shift quickly. After you've had 3 pieces, it might be and now I'm not in the mood for that. Now I'm actually in the mood for a giant glass of water. That is what my body is telling me, because that is what this is. When I'm saying whim, I am saying listen to your body. I mean, we are getting practice in that very thing right here in this particular little dare. It's just practice listening to your body. Listen to it when it pertains to food. What does it want? What is it saying? And it's interesting because it'll shift. Like I said, if you eat that giant piece of cake or 2 pieces of cake or 3 pieces of cake, you'll probably immediately get the whim or the body scream for some water. Or maybe it'll be for a green smoothie. Or maybe not. Sometimes sugar cravings feed more sugar cravings, and it might go like that. But it'll all be interesting to watch. It's just giving you practice listening to your body and letting it lead you and seeing how it does. I mean, you might be like, whoa, man, I had whims for all kinds of junk all day, and it was just one junky thing after the other. And once I ate that, fried pizza dough thing, then it led me to, want all this other salty stuff, and it just, okay, cool. But isn't it informing us? It's definitely getting us in touch with this voice in our body as it pertains to food and eating and nutrition, and kind of lets us know, do we have a tendency to spiral out like that, or will our body self-correct if only we would listen, and then tease through the different voices too, because and this one's going to get a little harder to describe, but I've definitely had a scenario happen where you eat something sweet, and then you kind of do crave water, or maybe even salad, and is that a guilt whim? Is that a real whim, a real voice, or is that I just need to balance myself out? And be aware of that. I mean, I'm not saying one thing about it either way, one way or the other. I'm just saying, notice. Or then some other sweet stuff will become available to me. And because I've already, had 3 pieces of cake today, whatever, I am oh yeah, and M&Ms look good too. And this looks good, whatever. Candy, does, and when I want the extra candy, is that a real voice? Or is that not? Is that just kind of patterning? Is that kind of is that really what I'm having a whim for? Or is that just convenience because here it is in front of me? Or nostalgia. Because there's a lot of different stuff built in our worlds. And I've talked about it a little bit before, but it's we had such a fun time having those 2 pieces of cake that now, chocolate covered pretzels look good too. But it's more to do with the associations that we have with this food, the emotional associations like comfort or fun. And man, that comfort that I got earlier sure did feel good. And so or nostalgia, like I said, something that was associated with childhood and fun times. And, I don't know, is that what's playing in? to the whims, or is it a true whim coming from your body? I mean, that's kind of what I mean about teasing out the voices. You know, these things that you're hearing, the yeses or the I want this that you're hearing, like what part are they coming from? Or is it a true, like from my body, it really wants that? Or like I said, is it something else? Is it like, oh, that one's kind of like coming from this place of wanting some fun, and I associate Friday nights with like pizza, or I associate pizza with like social outings and something, I don't know. So what is it that you were wanting, and was that voice really coming from your body? And tease through some of that, because all of this just helps us deepen our connection with food and stop and take real notice of just like our bodies and how they speak up for food. I personally find it's really interesting, although I hear a lot of people saying that it's that downward spiral thing for them, where they just like crave something bad, and once they've eaten something crappy, like it just goes all downhill from there, because then it's like more sugar, more sugar. I actually find that if I'm really listening to my body, not convenience, not, just like the day that I'm having and I'm like craving comfort, or, my body will actually course correct like beautifully. It actually knows and is like speaking quite clearly about the very nutrition that it needs next. Like I've had too much salt, I need water. I've had a lot of like heavy proteins and fats, and I need some, fibers and water and roughage, like salad or something like that. I keep using salad as an example, but it's not all just about salads. That is not the only representative of healthy food, but whatever. Just an extreme to illustrate my point, kind of like the chocolate cake. But see how following your whims go, and just see what you find out about your whims, about your body, and about your relationship to food.